Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is the Boom Bar right here on your Boom Radio NG. I give you bid you a warm welcome to the bar today. Today promises to be a very interesting one, as we're going to be talking about quite a number of things. One of the interesting things that are on the front burner today, as we all know, is Nigeria's security issues. We're going to be talking about that and how it seems like there are 3 states that seem to be dealing with it now, and hopefully something will be done quickly. We're going to talk about the updates from the president's seat. We're going to be talking about that, the National Assembly. And then there's another coup in another African country, Guinea-Bissau. We're going to be seeing what is happening there. Sadly, a former president of Nigeria seems to be trapped in all that mix also at the moment. And there are quite a number of things we're going to be also talking about today. There's a bit of sports, there's a bit of international news as well. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as we have all these conversations at the bar. And I'm at the bar not just by myself, it is with Shala Rogers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and what's going on? What's going on here?
Okay, so we're going to be starting obviously with the obvious. That's what everybody...
What did you just do? Obviously,
we're going to be
with the obvious.
It's very obvious at this point. There's nothing else.
Oshie Rhyme Seeker.
Anyway, the president has declared a security emergency. Obviously, at this point, was it negotiable? Maybe some other people were... I would say maybe some other president. I'm sure I've never really heard this before. Maybe I might be wrong, but I'm not sure. Coming from the president's seat, I'm not sure, because to me, what declaring a state of emergency on security means is that there is a crisis. We need to. Do you understand? That it's a declaration of a crisis. There is a crisis on our hands, and things have to be done. I don't know if and maybe also from another angle, the way a lot of people are going on about it, you would think that this has never happened before. Sadly, this is not the first time we're seeing this in recent times. Should it still be happening? Absolutely not. And I think that I really hope, for the sake of Nigerians, that it is President Tinubu, because he's the one president here now, and this has not to do with anything else, that this nonsense stops with him. So the president has declared a state of emergency on security. There's a lot of sweeping statements the president has made. It started, I think, 2 days ago or 3 days ago with the withdrawal of the VIPs, that even as high as the senators and House of Rep members are complaining. For them to complain, because we know that it's not the first time we're hearing something like that from an Inspector General of Police, but there never seems to be a reaction. But to me, the fact that there is a reaction about it also means that, looks like this is actually happening, because for Saturday everybody's complaining. However, now the president, as of yesterday, took a notch higher and saying that they're not just back to dealing with issues being redeployed to places that need to be redeployed. There is going to be mass recruitment of the police. It's even now beyond just the police and the army. Now they're moving into even the DSS. Now they're telling you now that the president, what is telling us is DSS is not just about intelligence anymore. You also need to go out there. There is major security issue, and it has to be sorted out. Head on.
Of course, let's start with the DSS matter. It's never always been about intelligence gathering alone for them. They've also been active in the field. It's just that in recent times, it looks like they've been more visible with it. And a lot of Nigeria security had always been reactionary, like, something has happened, let's respond. This has gone down, let us go there. But now they actually have to be on the front foot. They have to, be on the offensive. So I like the trajectory that we're going with that as part, especially the DSS. But now, if we take a look at the stories about recruitment and what they're saying, the DSS recently put out a list of names that they had kicked out, and it was a lot, It was a lot.
It was over 100.
Yeah, over 100 people had been kicked out of the DSS. But guess what? Apparently,
did you go through that list to find out if you knew anybody on that list?
I mean, I don't know anybody, so I didn't bother. Not really. Everybody did. Everybody did now. I was discussing it with someone. I was like, working in the media, there are certain colleagues that you've worked with in the past. And you're like,
you've been suspicious, I
I suspect this babe. This babe.
A moving left.
Do.
Yeah.
Just not say they plant them for you, So the thing about that is that they kicked out those people, and apparently they already have a short list of people who are going to be recruited and trained by, them, and bring them up to speed, which is fantastic on that part. Mm-hmm. It's obvious. We've always said it that Nigeria is under-policed. There's a certain number of, military and police that you need, especially when it comes to police. And speaking of that, now they're talking about an additional 20,000, which means they're recruiting about 50,000 Nigerians. Abi?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot, and the funny thing is, it is strange that this president is just saying this over 2 years into his government. Why am I saying it? It was one of the things that they used to campaign against him, to demarket him. At one of the colloquiums that he had attended, he had talked about recruiting young Nigerians en masse, and there was a time when there's this, is it for Agbado, is it for cassava and all of that. It became a meme, it became a joke, and basically I think he was talking about some kind of massive recruitment of military and feeding them produce from the farm that they would have made by themselves or whatever, basically some kind of agricultural revolution. And people used to campaign against it, say, don't let him win. If he wins, he's going to draft everybody into the military. But I thought that based on those talks at the colloquium, that would have been the first thing, which would have been more than a reaction to this current state. Picture if when President Tinubu came in, okay, maybe the finances were not good, but just picturing when he came in, they started this mass recruitment.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys would have been trained by now.
Yeah, because in a statement, actually, there's also a conversation. There's a part, I don't know if you picked it up, where he said the people that are being recalled, there's going to also be a retraining of these people.
Oh, of course. Now they have to, reset their system. They don't have to carry VIP bags anymore.
They need a reset of their system. I agree. They don't remember, going to
someone who has been going to VIP parties,
chilling in AC. Now they are not sending you to Kwara State under hot sun.
So yes, they need retraining and reconditioning. So that's one part of that. And again, beyond that, it takes time for these things to have effect. It's not going to be immediate. In the immediate, of course, they have to restructure the personnel that they have and redistribute them. There are areas where there's serious demand for military or police presence. Nigeria needs to plant more army barracks in a lot of places. It helps with the rapid response. If things are happening in Benue, in Port Harcourt, and the closest barracks is like miles and miles and miles away, the criminals would have come and gone before you even get there.
And then you now start playing catch up.
So again, beyond that, we're still talking this security matter, and I wanted to chip in just two things. We need to invest in technology. The fact that you want to bring in 50,000 policemen does not stop you from getting drones now and getting other, robots and equipment that you can actually deploy in the immediate. You get an early warning system, for instance. We also need, as a matter of urgency, citizens to be involved in security. Apart from the criminals that find their way through our porous borders, some of these other criminals are local and people know them, they see them, and you can help by reporting, to the DSS, reporting to the police, reporting to the military, your suspicions about certain individuals.
Yes, now people that you're not conversant with in your area, and you see that this person is moving left. All of a sudden, or this person that you don't know just moved into your area with so much money and is just doing as they like. Maybe it's time to whistleblow some of these things. But
before you leave that, sorry, like I said, just two more things. I talked about technology deployment, but I also want to crave the indulgence of the military, of the President of Nigeria, the Senate, all of them, please look into welfare of our military and paramilitary. Please. Honestly, you cannot tell me that the current state of things is okay. From their abode, I know they set up a committee with some governors going from state to state. I've seen them go around recently. But beyond that, what about their remunerations, their salary and their welfare package and insurance? Let it not be that it's when they lose their lives that you start to give their widows some money. Let it be that we pay them well, because I'm not going to lie, it takes a lot for someone to lay their lives. The fact that they are wearing a uniform alone makes them a soft target. It makes them say things like, they already know that anything can happen to them, and it shouldn't be. I've seen a recent spike in videos being made by widows of gallant heroes who have lost their lives in the line of duty for Nigeria, and the things that they are saying in those videos are not palatable. So we need to I always go on about structure, because if you have a proper structure, yes, you don't want your soldiers or your paramilitary, that's police and the rest of them, to die, but if they do, what do you have in place for them? What kind of insurance do they have? What kind of care will their children have, their parents, their dependents?
Alrighty, so I'm still talking about security, and with what the president said, another aspect of what the president said was urging the National Assembly to review state laws on state policing, saying that there's, at this point, there's really a need for state policing, especially maybe not, I think he was like that, to review for states that is needed for immediately. I think that it's not even some states. I think every state deserves to have state police at this point. If it's going to really help, if that's what is really going to help at this point, maybe it's time to actually start the process now. So, National Assembly, the president has thrown it back. Looks like the president is on board with the idea of
he had pushed this agenda when he was a governor. So it's not something that you're supposed to be surprised that when he now becomes president, it just goes away. When we look at different countries and how they, structure their security apparatus, I always look at the system in America, not because we claim to be using the style of democracy that they have, claim is what I said, but because of the system and how it works. Actually, there's the federal police and there's the state police, and of course they have their international police, which is the CIA. You get, the FBI is the federal police, and of course because we also have state laws in Nigeria. We have edicts and laws. So why don't we have people enforcing state laws, and certain crimes that fall into the federal category should be investigated and prosecuted at the federal level? Do you understand? I think there's a lot of clarity in it. A lot of us were worried about how we see the potential abuse of power by governors, but I think the current security situation far outweighs those fears now. It far outweighs it. And again, another reality on ground that we tend to gloss over and people might not be aware of is that the governors, especially now that they have more funds, are actually investing a lot in their tax forces and their civilian tax forces, more or less like vigilantes, because they don't have the power by law to say, oh, this is what we started. In Lagos alone, their own version of Amoteku, we started before the Amoteku movement, the LSNC,
Neighborhood Watch.
Neighborhood Watch, the Lagos Neighborhood Watch. They are like a state police. They have over 5,000 officers. They carry body cams. I don't even think Nigerian police have started carrying body cam. Do you understand? They just don't carry weapons because they are not empowered by law. They have their own training institute, They have a lot that they are doing. And that's 5,000 men recruited into that force and trained. Now, picture 5,000 times 36. That's something. That's already taking us, into some serious double digits when we're talking about policing. Again, another advantage of state policing that even at the federal level we need to restructure is, and I know we've said this over the years at the bar, the federal system means that people are deployed to places where they have to start learning the language, learning the culture, understanding a lot of things that has to do with their deployment. But picture if someone grew up in Akwa Ibom, joins the Nigerian police, and is deployed back to Akwa Ibom. He understands the culture, he understands the system, he knows how to monitor, he knows how to report, he knows how to gather intelligence. He knows when
things are quickly out of place. You know when this thing is off.
So replicate that across board. That's another thing that has to happen in the current police force. Honestly, because I get the federal character story and all of that, but when we're talking security, you bring a man from Ilesha who maybe lived in Ibadan all his life, was born and bred in Ilesha, then you post him to, the northeast.
Yeah.
It will take him a while, except he has already acquired some additional skills, especially in the area of language. So I'm saying that, beyond the clamor for state police, the current federal system also needs local intelligence. They need people who are domiciled in their areas of birth or growth, to help with the policing.
So it's a very interesting conversation that we definitely would follow. We hope that the National Assembly finds something to do about it quickly. Maybe if they find something about it, there are complaints about withdrawal of police to them. They will have more police that they can be using to do whatever it is they want to do. Anyway, still talking about a bit of insecurity. Sadly, bandits are said to have abducted 24 farmers again today, and a fresh attack in Niger State. It's sad. Looks like Niger State, Kwara State. In fact, other than the abduction in Kebbi the first time, I'm not sure we've really heard, but Kwara and Niger State, which looks like it's in the same axis, around the same axis. There are talks of some unrest in Kogi as well, all around that same area. Looks like it's very they're the ones really under pressure. We hope that things are done. We hope that at least in the immediate there are things that are done that curb these things as quickly as possible. One of
the things that we also must realize is the expanse of land, the sheer size of these states that we're talking about. Niger State, Kwara, they're massive states.
I think Niger State is like the largest state in
Nigeria.
Landmass.
Niger is bigger than many countries that even in Europe and the rest. So you can think about that and realize
Niger,
how difficult
Kwara,
it is.
Kogi, three of them, they're really huge.
Then also notice that, is it coincidental that Niger has ramped up its agricultural, output, and farmers have been attacked?
And all of a sudden,
insecurity
I
has
honestly
increased.
think that this
is it coincidental?
In the past 1-2 weeks, seems very coordinated. It's
is
very obvious.
It is.
It's very obvious. I really just hope that our own security apparatus actually steps up and this nonsense stops quickly. And before we leave the matter of insecurity, so the DSS, remember that there's supposed to be a Boko Haram negotiator, Tukur Mamu, that was arrested and was charged to court. So what the DSS was saying, I think in court, I know yesterday they were in court saying that from the Abuja Kaduna abduction, I think that was last year, if I'm correct. I'm not sure when exactly that was.
The train one?
The train
that was under Buhari now, so it can't be last year.
Oh, sorry, under Buhari. That one, that he actually collected up to 50 million naira from that ransom, from that incident. Then they're talking about how he used, the fact they went ahead to talk about what he used that money to do.
Yeah. So apparently this negotiator for terrorists in the northern part of Nigeria whenever people are kidnapped like that, is the one the terrorists talk to, and he is the one that even helps them collect ransoms from the victims' families and for onward delivery to the terrorists. And there was a particular message that they found on him where the terrorists were saying that, you know what, you've done very well, take 50 million off this money. You know, that's a deduct at source kind of situation. It has also been said by the DSS that the instant he became popular as a negotiator for bandits and terrorists, his lifestyle changed. I think he was even arrested on a trip where he took 4 members of his family abroad and all of that.
A big man.
And that he couldn't do any of those things before he became. So again, they're pointing to the fact that he got enriched. Now, we all know that banditry is bad. We know that also these ransoms are illegal. But when someone is in that scenario and he starts to thrive, you know, cui bono, or what's it called, that who benefits from a crime? When people benefit from those, that is the problem. Because trust me, there's no way someone is making so much money from something evil and he wants it to stop.
Yeah, that's also another thing. But maybe this also would deter people from, because really and truly we know that ransom collection is actually a crime in itself. So for you to now turn yourself to what's it called, in between, it really is just ridiculous at the end of the day. Anyway, before we also leave the matter of the president, this is out of the insecurity issue, but the president, as of yesterday, sent 3 ambassadorials nominees to the Senate. They're saying that according to these nominees are supposed to be ambassadors for the US, for the UK, and France. Yeah,
I saw that list, and they are actually proper diplomats and all of that. And it is said that they're going to prioritize a couple of countries where Nigeria needs immediate representation at that ambassadorial level. Then, of course, the entire West African coast too. Then they will start going to other parts. And now people are hoping that the Senate and the House of Assembly would expedite the process.
Okay. So as of yesterday, there was news that there was a military coup in Guinea-Bissau. I think it's confirmed. There's no conversation about it. Nigeria has come to condemn it, the AU, the ECOWAS, and in my head I'm like, all these are associations and all this, what's it called? What really is the point of it? Because if everybody is sovereign, which everybody should be, then these people are just, would I say, advisors. If whether they like it or not, there's really nothing, maybe except when it comes to sanctions of other countries on them, that and really and truly, how far have those sanctions really worked at the moment? But now the major story is that Nigeria's former President Goodluck Jonathan, who was supposed to be part of an election, I think the electionary process, the election observers, is now said to be stuck in Guinea-Bissau.
It's really, really very sad, and you start to wonder, is this some kind of African revolution where every or most countries in Africa would have military at the helm of affairs? Are we going back to those days? Or is this just another misnomer and it's feeding off the Sahel, what those guys call themselves again? The Niger and the 2 other countries at the moment. I'm just drawing blanks on them. Niger and which other countries got Burkina Faso? Yeah, Burkina Faso. And the funny thing is, a quick digression. The kind of story you hear about those places, you know, half of them are not true. You just keep hearing some nice things. One woman wants to marry the president of Burkina Faso, because they are not true, and they'll have pictures and everything.
Yeah.
So back to the matter, you know, this Guinea-Bissau matter, what actually makes it look bad is that they didn't even let the election hold. Do you understand?
I get you. I'm listening.
You go and now our own former president, who is there to observe and make sure that things are done properly, is now caught up in the whole matter. Now, the military had said that, that the president of their country, and they also arrested his top military aides too. You get the chief of defense staff and all of that, and that they are held somewhere, that they are held somewhere in a building by the military headquarters. But what came out that the president was actually arrested in the presidential quarters and all of that. At the end of the day, it's already premeditated, like they were going to always plan this coup and pull it off. And you look at Nigeria and how there was an allegation of an attempted coup barely a month ago. You start to look at it and say, okay, what is this trend? Is this where Africa is going back to? I know that there are a lot of things that are wrong with the way democracy has been run, especially in Africa. But it's not only Africa, though. Look at
my question.
Look at America. Look at UK. Look at all of them.
My question with this matters all the time, and is the fact that now the people that are under military rule in the last couple of years, have they been better for it?
Yeah, very good question. That's why I tell you now. There's a lot of disinformation and misinformation going on. A lot of propaganda is being spread about how the military in those countries have done great things. Now, one of the things that people have always clamored for is their resources, and how the foreign masters, it's so sad that some people are better off than some people because of the color of their skin and the kind of weapons that they wield. The foreign masters used to plunder a lot of these resources. So some of these countries have actually done well in the area of safeguarding that. But the truth is that they are still going to go to another master. Do you get? So it's funny how you say, maybe you're just basically changing. I don't want to say something bad, but you're just basically changing one master for another. If you're really going to do it, you have to do your arrangement, get the technology going, and start selling those things to the countries that require them, the rare earth materials and everything that Africa has been blessed with. Because this story is a very good question that Dolupo asked. How well are they doing with the military intervention that they've had? And the military, when they come, they say, in 1 year's time there's going to be elections. Then they come and tell you that, no, they're not holding elections for now. They need to, and before you know it, when they are done being military, they just take off their uniform and wear the civilian uniform, and it's the same cycle over and over and over again.
Anyway, we definitely will see.
They should bring back our Jonathan.
Just bring back Jonathan at this point. Let everybody just.
There must be a way to get in touch with this coup plotters in Guinea. Again, before we leave the matter of the Guinea-Bissau coup crisis, though, a couple of years ago, when one or two countries were playing these kind of games, I know that Nigeria will step up and say, if you don't reverse this thing within this number of time, we're going to come for you. Not this particular Guinea, was another one. But regardless, how come the foreign people, even the masters, them, how come they're not fighting for democracy in Africa anymore? Before they'll quickly say that they're going to come down on those countries and impose sanctions and all of that. But these days a coup happens and everybody's on looking.
Everybody has their own issues that they are dealing
or
with.
Agenda.
Or agenda. Sponsoring it.
Or agenda.
I agree.
We're just thinking out loud.
Anyway, moving on from that, let's move on quickly from that. There's been a lot of conversation around. There's a video that I saw earlier today. I'm not sure if you saw it. It's not on our headlines, but I think that it really shows the mentality of Nigerians. So the Minister of Interior made an unscheduled visit. Did you see that video?
No.
He made an unscheduled visit to a fire station in Abuja, and he was checking through the equipment, and one of the trucks was less than half full capacity, and he was asking, why is this like this? And the response of the fire service guy said, "Oh, they just brought it yesterday." And he's like, "Okay, so if this was brought back yesterday, up until today, what happens if there's a fire
that you have to respond
and
to?
you have to respond to? Would you tell them that, oh, it's not at full capacity? Like, what kind of mentality are you people dealing with? Like, you're dealing with lives here. What exactly is the point? It's a fire service. You should be ready.
It doesn't take 24 hours to refuel
at every point in time.
A fire truck.
And it's sad. Why is it sad? And it's not about, to me, it was not about just the fire, the fire service incident. It's the fact that whether we like it or not, it's probably what we see across board with a lot of, especially government agencies in Nigeria, how we feel it's okay to do things haphazardly. To think that this thing that you people are dealing with is supposed to be the emergency. The man was saying that this is Wuse. There are markets around. It's Hamatan. There's a high prevalence of fires and all that. This is definitely not the time to be slacking.
It's not. There's never any time to give them slack, especially when you are a first responder, especially you are, in that business of saving lives and property. And it's an attitudinal change that is required. It is an attitudinal thing. We just have that thing. If they had a checklist, I'm sure they do. You're done with fighting one fire. When you get back, refuel your truck. We used to watch one fire service program. It's an American one. We used to watch it back in the day. I think I was 13 or fire truck 13 or something. Very interesting thing. And I actually learned a lot watching those guys. And there are times when they just got back, they're about to go to sleep, and the alarm bell goes off again. And the radio call comes through, and they have to respond. So again, we must know that we signed up for these jobs. You're the one that said you wanted to work in a fire station, and you know what comes with it.
Yeah, these things are really, and like I said, fire can be ridiculous. I don't know if we saw the story that's happening in Hong Kong to see the building that was on fire, and they said that there are over 250 people missing.
Yeah, I saw the headline, didn't read the story, was going to watch that video later. These are the issues, really and truly, because you don't know at times when these things are going to happen.
Yeah.
Even arson is only the person that is behind it that knows. You as a first responder, you don't know. So we must always be on top of our game. And you might just be the difference between saving lives or making things go all right. Do you know how many times these fire trucks have drawn the ire of people, like make people get angry because they respond to shouts of fire somewhere and they don't come prepared.
Yeah, they definitely don't come.
It has happened more than once.
Oh yeah.
And this is how and why it happens.
This is why it happens. You see, one of the reasons why it happens. The sad part for me is that I know that maybe the minister needs to put in place some sort of constant monitoring for these people, because the truth is that I feel that the minute the minister turns his back, it's not going to change. It's a mentality thing. The fact that it's okay, the minister is asking you, and it's okay for you to reply and say, oh, it was just brought in yesterday. Are you even thinking at all? So maybe the Ministry of Interior really does need their work cut out for them, as well as every other ministry in the country. Another interesting story that dropped today is that the Southwest Development Commission is saying that they're looking at having a ring road of rail around the Southwest. I think that conversation is officially now happening. Now there's been a lot of meetings between the Southwest governors in the last couple of days.
We had this discussion about 2 years ago.
Yeah, so I think it's official now. Now, they've now officially signed an MOU with the Niger Railway Corporation, and they're saying that before they get into building this, as is supposed to be a public and private partnership thing, that the first thing they do is revive the old train tracks that are there. So one of the ones that they're saying that they want to reactivate in the immediate is the Oshogbo, Dagbolu, Erumo, and Idogo railway lines.
All of those places are in Nigeria.
In the southwest
of Nigeria.
Yes.
What's going on here? Apart from Oshogbo, the other
it's very
places.
possible that I'm not pronouncing it well.
Okay,
Please
you
pardon
must
my-
be the problem.
Oh, God.
That's why. But that's all right. And this is what we need. And that's the essence of breaking down development into regions. So Southwest Development Commission emphasizes rail. Picture all 6 development commissions building rails like that too. Just picture it. And in 2 years, we would have increased connectivity in Nigeria via rail, which is way faster and cheaper and safer in many instances than road transport.
Okay, so really just wanted to put that out there. Now, moving on from that, let's talk a bit of gist from a bit of states. The Edo State Assembly has passed an amendment to secret cult prohibition law. We know that I think that would we say that because maybe the idea of secret cult or cultism is very prevalent in Edo State, because the governor seems to be very, very on top of this matter and really, really clamping down on a lot of issues of cultism in the state.
The matter is funny, and the reason why I say that is, what is cultism? It's gangsterism. It's criminality.
Yeah, basically.
It's the work of the police. Do you get? A special law against it is not bad, but a crime is a crime, and the crime fighters need to be empowered. That it goes beyond rhetoric, it goes beyond signing laws and updating laws. Really and truly, there are some things that you can crush or bring to a bare minimum. This form of cultism that they're talking about used to be on university campuses. You get, and then it spread to secondary schools, but in between it spread from university to secondary school.
It's on the streets.
It was on the streets, and it's still there. Bike riders, bus drivers and conductors, meat sellers, they're all into it now. And the laws that you pass, are they going to stop Nigerian singers from glorifying it? It's in the music that they play.
Yeah.
It's
Maybe
in the
time to
movies that we
outlaw those
watch.
things, yeah.
Yeah. It's all there. You see them in the full glare of the world. You glorify them because they glorify it. So these laws, they are good, but I see a lot of these actions at times as just cosmetic. Go to the root of the matter. Go deep down and yank out the root, and you know how to do it.
Moving on from Edo State, let's go to Anambra, where Anambra is now starting to clamp down. Basically, they're saying that they're cleaning up the state and they're officially outlawing no street trading. So, all those...
They're outlawing
Anambra
no
is
street
saying-
trading, or they're outlawing street trading.
They're outlawing street trading, sorry.
Yeah.
They're saying that they want their streets to be clean. There's no... You can't just have pop-up markets and all those things anymore.
Street trading is a very unique thing. It's not only in Nigeria. It's even in some parts of America. You see people sell I've seen people sell flowers in traffic and all of that, but not the way we do it. Our own is that you can be in traffic and buy an entire...
No, you buy everything. You know the worst part for me? I think that street trading will not be so bad in Nigeria if there's a bit of cleanliness involved. The minute you see a street market, know that the whole place is going to be a mess.
Yeah. So I was also always of the opinion that rather than totally outlaw it, we have, people who created the concept of a drive-through eatery. And it's catching on in Nigeria small too, but abroad you can actually drive through, place an order on this side, pick it up on the other side, and it's actually convenient for a lot of people. So yes, outlaw street trading, but provide options for people there's nothing wrong with a drive-through market, that people can actually, drive and come out and continue their journey.
Anyway, moving on from that, let's go to Cross River, where they've announced that they recorded about 800 gender-based violence cases in the last 11 months.
That's
in the
plenty.
state. That's a lot.
That's plenty.
But I would also say, on the good part, maybe it also means that there's a lot more awareness and there's a little more reportage.
Yeah, so they've created, there's a website now, there's an agency, and they're basically getting organized about it. That's why there's data to that effect. But I want to harp on how, on the average, when you before you do the average, there are 36 states plus the federal capital, making 37. And if you have an average of 800 reported cases of gender-based violence, right? Which also is also tied to domestic violence a lot at times. Not all cases, but if you mix it up and say, okay, even make it half of that across, is too much.
It's a lot. It's a lot of violence happening. It's a lot of violence happening around. Moving on from that, Tinubu Silva, the former governor and former minister that was declared wanted by the EFCC, he has now come out to say, he now written a letter officially to the EFCC saying that there's not one of his, they've never invited him, and he has declined not wanting to show up. So he's saying that he's really dealing with an illness. They are always ill. Always ill, but that the EFCC should give him a date when he consult with his doctors, when maybe he can stop his treatment and he will be able to show up at the EFCC office. And so so that he doesn't want to be declared like he's not wanted.
Ladies, take a cue from the man. You will not let somebody be great. Ladies, take a cue from the man. He's asking EFCC for a date. Be bold. Ask that guy for a date. Don't shy away.
How did you get to?
You said date. That somebody wants to go on a date with EFCC. The man wants to go on a date. He said they should give him a date. Where are they going? Is it restaurant or court? The interesting part is that the fact that his name has been linked to other crimes, allegedly, is even more interesting for me. Beyond the allegations of theft or alleged theft, it's the link that seems to have been quiet. So let's really hope and pray that he gets his chance to prove his innocence.
Yeah.
But ladies, man, don't be afraid.
I'm not doing this.
We're here.
With you. Anyway, let's just go through. I said, sadly, in Hong Kong, our thoughts and prayers are with them, as over 250 people are missing. It looks like it's said to be the deadliest inferno of the country.
Any reason why this fire started?
I don't know exactly what started the fire.
Like we always hear about annual fires in Australia, in America.
It's actually a building. It's a
building.
I
know. So I saw I'm just saying. I was trying to establish something. We hear about fires. Buildings also get burnt in America. You see entire communities wiped out because of fires. Some of them are actually sabotage, and some are caused by climate. There's burning grass here and there, and it starts to escalate and all of that. But most times from this axis, this Singapore or East Asia or Asia, it's some kind of building or factory. The other day was the place where they were keeping
those factories explode a lot.
Yeah, where they keep
this one
fireworks.
Yeah, so the problem with this one is that I think it's really a residential building.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering what started it.
This is a lot. But anyway, still talking about it. In the US, sadly, 2 National Guards were shot near the White House. Yesterday, there was a shutdown of the White House, talking about insecurity. It was also, now the US president has said that the shooter was an Afghan national and is committing an act of terror.
But did they also talk about the alleged links that this same person has to America and how he probably used to work for them or with them or something. Yeah, there are stories that have come out to that effect, that he just moved to America. Maybe, I think it was under Joe Biden's government and all of that. But regardless of whatever it is that it was, nobody has a right, to take anybody's lives. And these National Guard guys were just doing their jobs. I heard that it was at close range. I've seen images of the shooter and all of that, and I was actually enraged because, at times it's very sad how people
are doing their jobs and they just
and they it's not like they came for you or anything.
Yeah, it's actually sad.
It's fantastic how the US got this guy, and hopefully they'll be able to get some information out of him, whatever it is that he stupidly thinks he's fighting for. I always see these people as cowards, especially when you just pick people and attack them. I heard that there were headshots or something and all of that.
It's a very, very sad one.
It's really sad.
It's a very, very sad one. Anyway, before we leave, let's do a little bit of sports before we leave. Let's come down to Nigeria with the MPFL. And, there's been a lot of conversation about the MPFL. This looks like 1 week, one issue. Now, what the MPFL is saying is because there was an allegation saying that the Kwara United Stadium is really bad, and someone had come out to say that it's really causing a lot of injuries, that their players with 3SC players from Oyo State is really that caused about 3 or 4 people to get injured, and they're saying that there were holes and the stadium and all that, and how the MPFL felt it was okay for this stadium to be used to play a game. Now the MPFL has said that they've deployed 2 people to go check those stadium at the moment. Would we say that they're being more proactive now?
How is that proactive, Dolupo? Now, that's not proactivity in any form, and this is why. First things first, the person who raised the alarm is Toby Adepoju. He works with 3SC. It's actually, incidentally, it's his birthday today. So happy birthday, Toby. And he put it out on his Facebook, actually. He put this story out on his Facebook, and it became a story. Normally, before the beginning of the season, the football organizers, that is the league management company or whatever they call themselves.
Yeah, I get your point.
They actually
to go round.
They actually go round and they inspect the stadiums. They have a whole committee. They inspect the stadiums, then approve.
So
in some instances, some stadiums don't even get approved. That shows you that they are doing their job. Sir, what happened? How many games have they played this season?
I think 15.
That this is happening. It shows you that some of these stadiums are not even up to scratch. Again, it starts to make me repeat what I've said over and over again. To grow our league, we must raise the standards. We don't need 20 teams that don't have 20 good stadiums. Worst case scenario, let them share. AC Milan and Inter Milan has been sharing stadium for years now. Heavens did not fall.
Yeah.
Let them share while they are fixing the other stadiums. In Lagos here, do you know about 10 teams use one stadium? About 10 teams. So, please, before you destroy people's careers, all in the name of managing a league.
Yeah.
And again, the sad part about these managers is that this kind of talk that I'm making, it drives them crazy. It makes them angry. But guess what? I don't care about you. I care about the players and the game. And you people don't like the truth.
Also, Nigeria's protesters, they're writing to the ITTFs talking about the visa denial for the NTTF players. Are you okay?
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not okay.
About the World Youth Table Tennis that their players could not go to.
Okay, now I'm okay. I will be okay. So, Nigerian players had qualified, from West Africa and Africa to represent Nigeria, and suddenly you refuse to give them visas. Don't make any sense. And we have to cede that position to other African countries. And it's really sad that in 2025 we're still going through this type of things. It's really, really sad.
Yeah, doesn't actually make any sense. But anyway, now let's go and talk a little bit about yesterday and 2 days ago, Champions League match day 5, which saw a lot of very interesting matchups, starting from Tuesday. Well, I think it's safe to say that Galatasaray, as the way we call Nigeria, is Osimhen FC as well.
Yeah, they're missing him. The Gala is really missing Osimhen, and it's glaring that Gala is missing Osimhen.
Interesting, and funny thing is that there were so many red cards in this match day. Galatasaray got a red card. Villarreal got a red card. They got pumped by Dortmund 4-0. Marseille defeated Newcastle 2-1. Chelsea beat Barcelona 3-0. That was not...
You can say that again.
We did not see that coming. Even there was another red card in that game as well. Another one, even though there was no red card in this one, so let's never use that as an excuse, is Man City and Bayer Leverkusen. Bayer Leverkusen defeated Man City at home at Etihad 2-0. A lot of people are saying that there was no need for there were a lot of people that Pep Guardiola benched for thinking that maybe he was all that, his team was all that and a bag of chips. Apparently they're not.
They're not.
And they got piped for that reason. Then we saw yesterday very interesting games. Copenhagen beats Cairo 3-2. Real Madrid defeated Olympiacos at home 4-3. That game, we saw Mr. Kylian Mbappe score 4 goals, but also sadly the Olympiacos actually got 3 goals past them as well. That's a very
what's sad about that is gladly, because that's beautiful football right there.
Very interesting one. You know that these are games you would have called and said, oh, it would be an easy run for Real Madrid. Apparently it wasn't as easy as they would have thought. Sporting CP defeated Club Brugge 3-0. Atalanta defeated Frankfurt 3-0 at home. Fantastic. I think Ademola Lookman scored in that.
Finally,
he scored the first goal there. Atletico Madrid are back to winning ways in the Champions League, defeating Inter 2-1. Inter was one of the few teams that had not lost a game, and Atletico Madrid did them, did the honors with that. Then we saw Liverpool get flogged at Anfield again by PSV Eindhoven. Again, I would say that this was a game that on a normal day you would have called and said, Liverpool's going to railroad this.
Which of the Liverpools?
But
now?
The Liverpool of now that got beaten at the same Anfield over the weekend by Nottingham Forest 3-0.
Yep.
Wait, let me see. We might have 1 or 2 minutes. Let's have a conversation.
Nope.
About Liverpool.
Nope.
No, we will. It needs a 1 or 2 minutes mention.
Before she starts out, today's Boomba was sponsored by Baba and Mama Igbeji.
Oh my God.
A big shout out to the twins out there in Canada.
Back to
your slot business.
Yeah, just me. The thing is, let's have a conversation about it. Do you think by now Arne Slot should be sacked? Or we know that as Liverpool does not
sacking Slot is a bad decision.
Oh, really?
Because how will the other clubs get their own 3 points? It's not fair. It's not fair on the clubs that have not played Liverpool. There are a lot of people that need to pick up their 3 points. So please keep him there.
Wow.
Did you ask that question with the mind that you wanted an honest response from me?
Yes.
You just got it and you're still
flabberwhelmed. No, you're just being
I'm being me.
Yes.
Abi?
No, you're just
I should be what you thought I would answer.
Point. Do you think I'm talking technically now?
I'm talking technically true.
No.
3 points will keep some teams up. And it will save some people from relegation. It will save some coaches. Why sack one coach that can save 10 other coaches? Please keep Arne Slot so that other coaches can survive, other clubs can survive. After all, you just won the trophy last year. You can still use that one to drink beer at the end of the season. They won't take it away from you. It's yours for life.
Anyway,
leave Slot alone.
At this point, I think that Arne Slot is not just Liverpool.
Why do you hate a man so? That man has a family. You want them to sack him. He has children. He has a family.
He's not a broke man. You'll find that job.
No, it's not fair.
I'm not even a fan of Liverpool.
Let him stay at the job.
At this point, I think that it's not just only doing Liverpool a disservice, it's doing the whole Premier League. Why would I say that?
Not true.
Because these are supposed to be the defending champions.
They're still defending champions.
Out of last 12 games, they've lost.
They've lost
9
what?
games.
Only 9.
9 out of 12.
Have they lost double digits out of 12? They lost 9 out of 12, and you want to lose your head? Just 9 games. 9. 9 games.
I'm not even going to do this.
That's just 27 points.
I'm not.
It's just 27 points. I don't like the way people exaggerate these things. You understand? Liverpool, 9 games out of 12. What's the big deal? If they play game 13 and they lose, it now becomes 10 games. That's 30 points. It's still not a big deal. It's Liverpool.
How
baby.
many points can you gather in the whole season if
that's not the issue. The issue is how many games can you lose in a season?
Anyway, talking about red cards,
Yeah.
PSG also got a red card yesterday, but this was about 93rd minute, so it really didn't matter anymore. But at this point, they defeated Tottenham 5-3. Another talk about it is how a lot of teams have their defense very porous. As much as they got 5 goals past Tottenham, if you really want to, Tottenham also got 3 goals past you, which I think is a big deal.
And if they want to say it now, they'll say they should sack Thomas Frank, a man that his team scored 3 goals.
But he needs to be sacked too. What is he doing?
Because Ebere scored 3 goals against his team.
And PSG
let's
scored
not
5
let's
goals.
not do this, please.
And PSG scored 5.
These are people's breadwinners. Let
5.
them stay at the job and bless other teams. It's not fair.
You are just mean.
I'm just mean.
Anyway, before we leave that matter, Arsenal gave Bayern Munich their first defeat of the season. I think this was probably the most talked about game for match day 5. This has been going on for weeks.
Yeah, we saved the best for last. I was particularly more impressed with the Bayern coach's sense of fashion. You know, he just came through gangster lane, like, you know, I'm here for business. And Bayern played a good game. It's the kind of game where you see 2 of the best teams in the world. You know, Arsenal and Bayern are 2 of the best club sides in the world this season. There's no gainsaying it. These are facts. And, you know, first half ended 1-1. The people sitting next to me when we were watching, they didn't even let me know that they had conceded. That's how terrible Arsenal fans are when you're watching football with them. Their team conceded and they were quiet. Terrible human beings. So I had to check the highlights and I'm like, whoa, so they even scored. So shout out to Bayern. You know, it's not like they went there to capitulate. But man, second half, that guy, you know, I think the key to beating Arsenal is to remove, what's that guy's name again? Arsene Wenger's son, what's his name? Arteta from the pitch. No, don't let him talk halftime.
There's something
that guy is telling them at halftime. Because
by the time he gets to second half, you're like, okay, is it the same?
It's the same. Happening? Arsenal.
What's happening here?
Arsenal were in peril yesterday, you know, and the highlight of that game for me was the Martinelli goal, you know, the long pass, and Uncle Neuer. What were you thinking? What was going through your mind? What's going through your mind?
What did you think you could do?
What are you thinking? What are you thinking? You outrun that boy? Person that used to sell gala in traffic before. You don't know Martinelli. Look at you. It was a beautiful one. I loved what the Arsenal did. And now, really and truly, the possibility of Arsenal doing a treble is real. But I'm going to sound a warning. Because we've been here before.
Yeah, it's early
but
days.
Not like this. It's not early days, though. Don't excuse.
Okay.
My warning is, shall look for a way to replenish your squad in January. Because the injuries will come. And so far, there's no Yorkresh and Arsenal is scoring 3 goals against Bayern.
Yeah, there's no Gabriel. There's no.
Saka gets pulled out and they don't even notice. The other Nigerian boy that they bought is injured though. That boy is not playing, no.
Who?
It's not Noni, the other one.
Noni. No, it's Noni Madueke now. Ebere Cheze.
Where
No,
is
he's
he?
not injured. He's not injured. He played yesterday.
They just don't want to play.
It's Noni Madueke that just came back from injury.
One of them was injured, so do you understand? So Arsenal is too much. In fact, we should split that team into two, so that Arsenal 1 and Arsenal 2 can play. These guys are amazing, though. Man, I'm not going to mince words about it. I'm not. They're massive.
On that note, that is all we have take today on the Boomba. However, before we leave, the UK man that actually drove into the Liverpool FC parade, remember a few weeks ago, has now officially talked about, not a few weeks ago, a few months ago, during the parade. He has now come out to say that, he did that thing purposely. People didn't die, but over 100 people got injured with that. There were children involved, and just ridiculous.
I'm glad that they have laws in the UK and they're going to make him pay.
I agree. Anyway, on that note, that is all we have to take today on the bar. Thank you for listening.
Please don't sack Slot
for watching. Please sack Slot. Thank you. We'll be back again.
It's somebody's son.
Please
don't sack Slot.
Oh God, at 3 p.m. West African time for CGIF edition of the Boomba. Have a beautiful, beautiful day.
# keep Slot.